A note about lunch today. So we have to eat outside because I have to be outside and I'm forcing everyone to bend to my will as usual. So we're going to do lunch today. It's also been kind of difficult to make reservations places because apparently there's like some sports thing going on. So we've decided we're going to do Wichita Brewing Company and Pizzeria out east. They have a large outdoor patio. So just kind of an FYI there. Yeah, we'll be doing that for lunch. There's no actual reservation, just, after this, just go there and grab a table on the patio. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. And we are going to have our musician back.
Yay!
Oh, and
We're passing this stuff.
yeah.
And the peasants rejoice.
Also back. Yay!
Group discussion, what time are the games today? The important ones.
140.
140 something?
140, which one's at 140?
Wichita State.
Okay. When do the Blue Boys play?
4:15.
Okay. Alright, we can get home for that. I think KU can make it this year, but I say that every time. I always joke, they always lose to like a 10 seed. Alright, was balance better on that second one?
Yes.
Locked in? Okay. Alright. This next song, all 4 of these songs that I'm doing today will be on my album, and I'm planning on releasing a few songs of my album on my birthday, which is May 10th. So if you want to be on a mailing list or just get on my Facebook page or something like that, come talk to me and we'll make sure that you get that information and you can get these songs when they're out. May 10th is when they will be, a few of them. So I'd like to thank my drummer for being here today. This is called Glow. Dancing, you know I really ain't good at much, but I know I'm gonna make a difference, even if it's just a little touch. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go and go. I'm gonna smile, it'll be me who made it. Open your eyes, there's a world to see. Is it really so hard to believe that you can find the joy and happiness with me? You're gonna glow, you're gonna glow, you're gonna go and go. Doesn't have to stop for us to be together. You don't have to compromise your dreams for me. In fact, I'll make a minute
And now our speaker, Michelle Morgan. She's from Kansas City Oasis. She's on the board of directors of the Oasis Network. And then she's also, with Kansas City Oasis, and she's here talking about her project, Mobility Matters. Thank you.
I'm just going to step over here. This is on wheels. Can I pull it to where?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. All right. Good. Oh, there you go. That's good. That's good. Good morning. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. Thrilled to be here, really, truly. I was here for your launch. Super exciting and great to be back with all of you. For those of you that do not know me, which is most of you, my husband and I, just to give you a little background, my husband James and I left years, decades of ministry in evangelical Christianity in April of 2015. So we're noobs to this whole secular thing, but he spent 20 years as a pastor and I was 16 years in ministry. My particular denomination did not allow women to be pastors. So anyway.
So sit down.
That's right.
Straight now.
Yeah. But that's a long, sordid story, but just wanted to give you a little background. We found Oasis just a few months after we left the church, and it really has saved, I feel like it saved my life, just finding community and like-minded people who believe that people are more important than beliefs and that meaning comes from making a difference, and that believe in being accepting and being accepted and all those other things. So today, James and I have a very Brady family. We have 7 children together, and Maddie is our oldest daughter. My stepdaughter Madeline was born really premature. She and her twin brother Max, and as a result of her premature birth, ended up with cerebral palsy. Madeline is almost quadriplegic. She has very limited use of her hands, but has to be fed and can't brush her teeth or any of those sorts of things. So requires a lot of care. But she was very fortunate in that she was born here in the United States, that she had amazing doctors, and had she been born other places in the world, it's quite likely that she wouldn't be here at all. So very fortunate to have been born here. Now you contrast Maddie's story with this little boy. His name is Argyle. We met him in March 2015 in Nicaragua. He was 7 years old at the time that this photo was taken, and Argyle was born in Cucra Hill, which is a very small village on the Caribbean coast of Nicaragua, and there it's a place where healthcare is very limited. He was born with fluid on the brain, and as a result had some developmental disabilities and physical disabilities, wasn't able to walk. He was abandoned by his mother, which is sadly quite common in developing countries, just because of the burden that a handicapped child is, not just on the parents, but on the whole family. When you're struggling to survive, to make ends meet, to then have to care for a disabled child, it's really difficult. So he was abandoned and fortunately adopted. However, his adoptive mother, also very poor, because it is the developing world, and as Argyle grew and she was unable to carry him, he, like most people in the third world, was forced to crawl on the ground. As a result, when we met him, he had these sores on his feet, and that's from dragging himself through the streets of Nicaragua. It's heartbreaking, and it is why I'm here today. So, here to talk about Mobility Matters, and what is it? What is Mobility Matters? So Mobility Matters is a humanitarian outreach project of the Oasis Network. Now, while it is my passion, and I'm the one who's kind of gotten the ball rolling, this is our project. This is an Oasis Network project. We are super excited to be launching this. Our first trip is in August of this year, and what the project consists of is forming small teams of people who we're going to take to Nicaragua for 1 week, where we will assemble and distribute free wheelchairs to people in need. So we are partnering with Metanoia Ministries, which is a faith-based organization in Managua, and a Free Wheelchair Mission, who is also a faith-based organization. They operate out of California. My first trip to Nicaragua was in February of 2012, and at that time, it was with the church. Despite that, being no longer with the church, my passion, my compassion for these people in this project has in no way diminished. If nothing else, it's grown, because while then I believed that God would intervene and was working, now I believe that human hands solve human problems. And so now more than ever, we need to come together to help these people with their great need. So when my husband and I, who we were not together at the time, not
What
married,
a story.
right?
What?
When we left the church, we suffered great loss. Our community and family, and it was a hot mess. One of the things that was hardest to lose was this project. What I believed when I left, that was it. That was the end of my international humanitarian work. I'd been on 7 different trips, Mexico and Nicaragua, and I thought that was over, that I would never have the opportunity to do that again. And it took quite a while before I worked up the nerve to reach out to Metanoia and on behalf of Free Wheelchair Mission to see if they would continue to partner with us now that we were atheists. Because the relationships that we built had been while we were with the church, and we're not, and so I wasn't sure how that would go over, and finally worked up the courage, or just, I felt, you never know if you don't ask, right? If you don't ask, the answer is always no, and what's the worst that could happen? They'll reject me, and I'd already experienced so much of that. What the heck? So I did reach out to Metanoia, and to their great credit, even knowing our whole story and that we left and that we're now part of a secular organization and things like that, they replied enthusiastically, yes, we would love to continue to work with you. And so Mobility Matters was born. I talked to Helen Stringer and Mike House, who are also, I'm sure you know Helen and Mike, yeah, who are leaders in the Oasis Network, and they loved the idea of the project and embraced it. And so soon, the Oasis Network will be launching a second separate 501c3, a charity organization called Oasis Humanitarian Relief. Mobility Matters will be our first project, but we're hoping in the future to be adding additional international and domestic serving opportunities for anyone and everyone. So, why wheelchairs? All right. You're just way behind on my slides. Why wheelchairs? It's estimated that 100 million people in the world are in dire need of a wheelchair and don't have one. 100 million. And those that are disabled and find themselves in a developing country are often find themselves not only regulated to crawling on the ground, but many of them are shut in. So we've experienced that, having traveled through Nicaragua and distributing free wheelchairs, found that many people, because of amputations or age or severe deformities, as they grow into adults and they're no longer able to be carried, they spend their lives in a bed or on a mat or in a hammock, and that's it. That's their life. So it's really heartbreaking, and the gift of a free wheelchair can restore not only their mobility, but their dignity and hope, and it's really a life-changing gift. We distribute the Free Wheelchair Mission wheelchairs, and just a little background on Free Wheelchair Mission. It was started by a couple of MIT grads, engineers who were traveling in Morocco and saw they were struck by the number of disabled people that they found crawling through the streets or dragging themselves on skateboards. And they thought, this is a problem and we need to do something about it. So they came back and they created this. If you can see, this wheelchair is engineered specifically for the developing country, because while you could send a regular, ordinary kind of wheelchair to the third world, in most scenarios, situations, it would be virtually useless. The terrain is rugged. If it were to break down, they do not have the parts to fix it. And so just all around, it doesn't really work. However, these wheelchairs, as you can see, it has a base of like the plastic lawn chairs, which I don't know if any of you have traveled internationally, but these are everywhere. On every continent, you can find these plastic chairs. It has bicycle tires, which are also very common in the third world, and they know how to repair them. The parts are easy. It comes with a pump and a brake, and it works. It works in the developing world. So, Free Wheelchair Mission, as of April of 2016, has provided 919,000 free wheelchairs to over 91 countries on the planet. So really amazing work that they're doing. Now, where we come in, all right, Free Wheelchair Mission, people donate to them. They purchase chairs. This particular wheelchair costs about $80. So you can buy a wheelchair for someone for $80. If you know anything about wheelchairs, like they're expensive. They're just your run-of-the-mill wheelchair. Miss Maddie has an electric chair, which is like, woo, you can't forget that. I mean, yeah, about $5,000. So $80, and you can provide a wheelchair for someone in a developing country. Most people that donate to Free Wheelchair Mission will never travel to the country where the wheelchair is assembled and distributed. You know, they want to help, and they purchase the wheelchairs, and that's it. And I am not, saying that's a bad thing. We need people to donate to Free Wheelchair Mission. We need those free wheelchairs. However, this is what happens. Metanoia is Free Wheelchair Mission's distribution partner in Nicaragua. So Metanoia receives shipping containers full of unassembled wheelchairs. And so they come, you got the plastic chair, the framework, and then your wheels and all your other bits are in the boxes. And that's how they arrive at their destination. Somebody has to put the wheelchairs together and take them to the people who need them, right? That is where we come in. We are essentially free labor for Free Wheelchair Mission and Metanoia. We are boots on the ground. We are the human hands that are solving this problem. So why Nicaragua? Nicaragua is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, the first being Haiti. Nicaragua is a very interesting country in that almost all of the infrastructure is on the western side. That's where you'll see the map's not super duper, but that's where the capital is and all the highways, and that's where the main airport is and all those things. As you move toward the Caribbean coast, there's less and less and less. Less healthcare, less roads, it's essentially landlocked and very, very poor. That's where you'll find the poorest people in the country. Depending upon the source, I mean, because there's always, it depends on who you talk to, the unemployment rate there is between 75 and 80%. Those that do work, all right, work dangerous jobs for little pay. You can see these are actually homes on the Caribbean coast. This is in Bluefields. Population about 70,000, which is the size of my hometown, St. Joseph, Missouri. One of the most common in Bluefields, those few that do work, one of the most common jobs is to work at the rock quarry. And here you will find families breaking rocks with hammers and shovels. And what they do is they break rocks into gravel-sized pieces to fill a 5-gallon bucket. It'll take a family of 4, say, about 3 days to fill one bucket full of gravel, and they're paid $15 for each bucket. So the poverty is just, it's astounding. Now, as difficult as it is to be poor in the developing world, to be poor and disabled, or to be poor and have a disabled child, or disabled mother, or disabled family member makes it exponentially harder. As I said before, so many of the disabled people, this is from a trip that we took, and you can see in the background the hammock there. There was a young man, and I can't remember exactly how old he is,